You're watching Avenue X, and today I want to talk about two Chinese web dramas that have been recently airing. These two dramas are 京城奇探, Cases Between Us. A 36 episodes, although each episode is technically speaking only about 15 minutes long kind of drama. Then the other drama is a proper 36 episodes drama. Full 45 minutes counting the titles. Also a Tencent period drama by Huasha, Blossoms of Power. One is set in Mingguo, one is set in the fictional period time. One is led by two guys and the other is a guy and a girl. If I have to say, although they're totally different dramas, they are not comparable at all. If there's one thing that they have in common, it would be the way it makes you feel when you watch the drama. You wouldn't feel you're completely wasting your time. You also wouldn't feel it is time completely well spent. Honestly speaking, a little bit chicken rip. Now, let's break it down and first talk about 京城奇探. This drama, like I said, 36 episodes, but it's very short. It's intentionally cut into more pieces so that I can air it slower. It is led by Zhai Zilu and Ma Sichao as the definitive two male leads, and you can also say Chunxia, the actress, will be kind of the third person who has most screen time, although she's definitely a supporting role and she's playing Zhai Zilu's character's sister. It is an original script that's written by the combination of 5 different scriptwriters. As for the story, it's set in Beijing, as it says, 京城 capital. Kind of a very vague-ish, like where exactly the timeline is in Mingguo. For Ma Sichao's character, he plays a kind of a bastard, like an illegitimate, kind of awkward son in the family of a very powerful warlord. He doesn't have a very good relationship with the father. His mother has passed away years ago and he was always suspicious about her conditions and what exactly happened to her. And he wasn't by her side when that happened. And he did want to study, I think in the story setting, like in England or stuff, and came back and became a police officer of the capital police bureau. And then Zhai Zilu's character is a classic 少爷, the 阔少爷, the rich second generation of Beijing. His father is actually the head minister of the Bureau of Education of that government, but their family is also very rich. They were Mandarin, so they were 旗人. And from the Qing dynasties, they were always like powerful families. You have an overseas student, also warlord son, policeman, and government official, and also ancient aristocrat descendant in the drama. So it's all set up for you to conveniently look at good clothing they're wearing and all the cool things they can do because they're rich, and then don't take it seriously. Very romanticizing Mingguo, which is actually a really bad period to be incarnated as a Chinese person. I have watched up to like whatever episode that has aired on Wednesday, and this is my opinion about it. First, as a detective drama, are the cases interesting? The answer is unfortunately no. They are very bland. Like, they're not really that much of a focus of the story, although there are constantly cases happening, but it really doesn't compare to the better ones that were made years ago. For example, my roommate is a detective. It really is just a tool for you to see these two characters get together and for you to ship them. Since this drama's focus is not actually on the cases, it's on these two guys, and it's clearly written and shot for that purpose. Is it easy to ship? Is it nice to ship? In Avenue X's honest opinion, this is a to some extent shippable screen couple. If they did a lot more work, it could be a lot better, but it really didn't hit that potential. So it is like what I said, chicken rib, which is you can kind of chew and bite on it hard and get a little bit out of it here and there. But if you're saying, is this a screen couple that will make you want to write fan fictions for them, want to think about what happens to them off screen, it's not there. Back in the days of My Roommate is a Detective, I really shipped the character played by Zhang Yunlong and Hu Yitian even till today. Sometimes I would be thinking, if it were me, if I was writing the future episode of their characters, what I would be doing, and I'd be imagining in my head and play that in my head like I would do my own brain movie for them. This is not that type of couple that I would ever bother to do, so it's kind of at the level where when you are watching the drama, in that moment, when the scene shows up, that makes you giggle and that's a pretty nicely done scene for that moment. It's just for that momentary pleasure. Once you finish watching the episode, you forget about them and you go on your daily life. Now, I was thinking why that's the case. First, probably is because the cases themselves are not so well written, therefore they're not that hooking. Therefore, the characters' relationships with those cases are not so tight, and what you can use the cases as the excuses for a lot of interesting personal plot to happen isn't so well done. Second is, I feel, although the characters are written very clearly as two very different type of personality that kind of compensate each other, which I highly appreciate because I think for this type of drama, this is the easiest kind of setup you do. If you write two people who are a little bit too much like each other, it usually doesn't work too well. This is the classic, one guy is the cold aloof, not talking too much and playing cool and playing hard to get, and the other guy is the happy, bubbly, high energy and always like shining with like sparks in his eyes and chasing after the other person. It's a very easy to work off kind of setup of two male leads. That is on script and character writing level, but then once you cast real humans to play them, this drama I don't think has picked the perfect actors to match up. If you're keeping Zhai Zilu, I think they should find a different Mr. Yuan, Ma Sichao's character. Ma Sichao, this actor, doesn't have that much of a strength and ability to play a lot of details out. He's the kind of guy who is passive and the other guy is active, right? You have to find an actor who can do all the stuff when they're not moving. Again, I'm gonna bring Guardian back because back in the days when Zhu Yilong played the character, he's the quieter guy in the whole picture. He happens to be a master of like just telling you what he's thinking with his eyes. So he can pull that off. He can be the quiet, less outspoken guy where Bai Yu is doing all the jumping around, and that works. But in this case, I think Ma Sichao is not such an actor who's really good at it. So the result is a very classic situation. In Chinese, there's an idiom for it, 剃头挑子一头热, which means in this relationship, one side is very active and very chasing after and exploding and always like fireworks. The other side is like nothing is happening. It's too imbalanced. As it goes on to like now it's past halfway, I'd say it has improved a little bit, but the inactive, not having anything going on period was too long at the beginning for Ma Sichao's character. I just feel he's not really the good choice if they picked a different actor who is better at doing all the micro expressions and who can convince the audiences of all the information he wants to give you without speaking or moving. This couple could have worked even better. It could also be, I would admit that Ma Sichao is never my type. He's been around for some years. He's played in many different types of dramas, mostly I think contemporary, and I think I've watched a lot of them. Even though I haven't stick to the end of those dramas, I always have seen him here and there in a lot of dramas. To me, he's the type of actor, whether it's his appearance or how he acts or just the aura of the person, the vibe of the person, I don't get. To me, he lacks charisma. That's just me, okay? I don't get his signals. I really enjoyed Zhai Zilu's moments. They did pick a very suitable actor for this character on paper. A young master of a rich household who is like really naive puppy is his comfort zone. He's played a couple of roles like that in the past and he's always done it really well. He personally also vibes quite like that. And then once it cuts to Ma Sichao, it's like quiet, dead zone. And that constantly happens in this drama as they are the two leads and so they're always talking to each other. It's just cold, hot, like constantly jumping around, making me feel the experience is odd and not very comfortable. But that's me. Okay, maybe Ma Sichao is your cup of tea, then like this may work better for you. To me, even till now, when the drama has passed halfway point, I'm still like, I don't quite get like what is special about these two. I will keep watching because I've already spent that much time and it doesn't have that much left, so might as well just get through it. And it's obvious that they're definitely gonna crank it up as it moves towards the end. There's gonna be more conflict and more sort of epic moments that, kind of like you go into this type of dramas to watch. But I don't think I will like make a fan editing like of this drama afterwards. Probably after a month or two, I'll forget about it. In my heart, a Mingguo setting, two male lead detective drama, the best one is still My Roommate is a Detective. And it only happens once in your lifetime. Even those two actors cannot make it happen again. If any of the specific main actors is your cup of tea, I think it's still worth going in, spend some time to see if you can stick with it. But don't have too high a hope in either the CP or the detective stories. Cases between us aside, let's go to Bai Hua Sha, Blossoms of Power, aka, in my language and term, the controlled experiment of seeing whether director is the most important thing in idol dramaland. And I think it proves again. Like this year, it's been proved multiple times already. Interestingly, this drama is actually directed by two directors, and they all have interesting relationships with previous Blossom dramas. One of them called Guo Feng, is a 联合导演, which is combined or joint director of Blossom 九重子, which was directed by Zheng Qingjie. In this case, usually this director will be acting as like a second director, and if they have A and B crew, right, the lesser important moments with supporting roles, for example, will be directed and shot by the B team director. That's how usually it works in Chinese dramaland. So I'm pretty sure Guo Feng acts like that. And if you look at his previous work record, he mostly acted as assistant director or second director under an even bigger director in all the other productions he's done. This time he's kind of also joining hand with another director. The other director in this production is called Zhong Qing, and he is the director of another period idol drama that I would consider to be one of the what a pity drama of the last couple of years, 花间令 in Blossom. I don't know, they probably went to a fortune teller and told them like you have to put Blossom in the titles of your drama and that's how you can make it successful. I don't know, it's just funny. Anyway, this guy, he directed the drama that was led by Liu Xueyi and Ju Jingyi that got so criticized and laughed at because everyone is saying if it was Zheng Hehuizi and Liu Xueyi acting through the whole thing without Ju Jingyi, it would have exploded. And it's also a controlled experiment because they literally have two different actresses playing the same role in the drama and let you see like the difference. By Huasha drama, Blossoms of Power itself, then I would consider it as another controlled experiment, which is Zheng Qingjie is not here now. You have no Zheng Qingjie. Can you do as well? Based on the current episodes I've watched, which is also till today, Wednesday, I would say it proves again the director really makes a difference. This is not a very bad idol drama compared to a couple of other idol dramas that are ongoing right now or that has happened this year so far I've watched. I think this is comparatively speaking better. Meng Ziyi had another drama airing, which is 桃花映江山, which is led by her and Liu Xueyi earlier. That drama I watched a couple of episodes and I couldn't continue. This one I've watched until now and I'm still following it. Although it's still to me a little bit chicken rib situation, at least I can chew on the bone. And there are moments that I enjoy. In terms of the story itself, it's another very classic kind of web novel-ish setting, which is actually based on a web novel anyway. The fictional period time setting, our female lead character, she's really two-person. The soul, the mind, she comes from one of those aristocrat family in the capital and got completely destroyed because of political stuff going on between her family and another big clan. That clan wiped their clan, and she did something on her death to basically revenge the other clan and kind of wipe them out too. And that's her first life. When she dies, you can say her mind or her soul travels into this zone where it runs into another recently just dead person's body, and that would be our main female character. At least that's her face in the whole story. She is a princess from the northwest border who is the daughter of a duke. Her duke father and her sort of like future duke brother, they are totally military men and they are controlling the borders, and without them the country will be invaded, so they're very powerful. She at the beginning of the story is traveling into the capital because the emperor wants to arrange a marriage between her and one of his princes. On her trip, she gets murdered basically. So the other girl's soul entered this body and this body got rescued, and when she wakes up in the bed, she realizes she actually is a different person now. She remembers everything she's done and that happened in her first life as the Gu family daughter. She also actually inherits the memory of this princess who got murdered. So she's now the princess to the world, but she's actually the other person who happens to basically take two sets of memories in her head. That's Meng Ziyi's character. As for a male lead character played by He Yu, he is the crown prince. Supposedly one of the cleverest kid that's ever born in the royal family. He was a genius when he was little and he got poisoned. Afterwards, although he survived, his health was shitty and the poison never really fully got cured. Therefore, he's kind of like semi-retired all his life because he's not healthy enough. Although the father, the emperor, really likes him, all the other brothers kind of have a better chance of getting the throne because he is not supposed to live very long and he's still fighting that poison. So he's pretending to be weak and can't do anything and he's just enjoying his life. And behind that is actually he's doing all the things, getting ready to find who actually poisoned him. He doesn't want to let that go and actually wanting power. He actually wants to sit on the throne, but he knows that his health is the first thing he needs to solve, and also dealing with all his brothers. So he is that type of 扮猪吃老虎 type of character in Chinese, which is pretending to be a pig. So pretending to be harmless and stupid while you are actually plotting and trying to eat the tiger. These two people are both very good at plotting. The Crown Prince and the real female lead, who is previously from one of those aristocrat families. Knowing that if that's your cup of tea, like this type of relationship, right, you can go into it because there are a couple of things that's enjoyable. First, like I said, pretty people, visually enjoyable, the romantic relationship and the tug between these two characters. But if you want to say whether it's so well written and then so well performed and shot and directed to give you that I want to know what happens next episode, that eagerness, that wanting, that I can't wait to click open the episode. And it's not only limited to the main couple, it's like every couple that shows up in the drama makes you go, oh, I want to know what happens. It didn't get to that point. It still is rather slacking in its rhythm. A lot of long stretched out slow motion scenes that really don't do much, just to make the actors look pretty. And shots are not designed in any sense to amplify whatever emotion and kind of feeling that the director wants you to feel, which I think is a strength of Zheng Qingjie, the director of Blossom and Zhu Yu. He really knows how to make use of everything. The editing pace, the shot angle, how you lit the characters, and for this particular scene of whatever plot needs to happen, how do I piece it together? The first shot needs to be from what angle, shoot what part of the actor. The second shot needs to be from what angle and why it's that long and that short with that lighting and that music. Like all that kind of understanding of how visual story creates emotion and atmosphere. I feel there's an innate but probably also practiced ease and understanding that Zheng Qingjie, this director, knows. In this drama, if you compare, you would know these people don't quite really understand exactly why they have to use this and that there. So they use certain shots, supposedly it looks pretty enough, but actually it doesn't create that reaction from the audiences. So there are a lot of pretty shots in the drama where nothing really happens and it doesn't really work for the emotion, for the characters, for the plot, for anything. It's just there to make the drama having the 36 episode size. As for He Yu and Meng Ziyi, their chemistry, it is personally, I don't feel there's a very strong chemistry. And if you want to compare it to Li Yunrui and Meng Ziyi in Blossom, I'd say they actually don't have that much of a difference in terms of how intense and how good the actors themselves are at getting that out. But the good thing about Blossom is Zheng Qingjie is in control, so he knows how to add. Basically, he would amplify 30, 40, 50% of that chemistry, so you kind of see, oh, it's working. Whereas in this case, that amplifier is not there. Therefore, their kind of chemistry is just, okay, I guess, you know, like you kind of can get it, but if you say it's not really that much there, it kind of is also making sense. And also because of the character setting, Meng Ziyi's character is the person who is very cool-headed, and she, because comes from a death of her previous life and a second chance, she's very political-minded all the time, so she doesn't really put her heart out. At least up to this point of the drama, she's still very reserved. And the reason she picked the Crown Prince is not because he attracts her that much, it's because all the benefits she can get in this whole political marriage. It's also similar to cases between us where it's a 剃头挑子一头热 situation, where it is, in this case, the Crown Prince who is chasing after the girl like crazy. So he's like the 宅子路 of cases between us. And because of that, most of the interesting plot points and character points all happen on the male lead in this drama. So for 百花杀, although Meng Ziyi is supposedly the bigger lead and it's kind of in her name, I blossom when every other flower dies. But all the interesting character development, the funny moments, all the sort of like things that make audiences wanna watch all happen to the male lead. And Meng Ziyi, as the female lead, almost is like just there to be pretty, to be object of desire, right? And then audiences mostly are actually, by the storytelling, almost pulled to the angle of the male lead character. And you are mostly looking at the story from his perspective, which I don't think is the intention, but somehow it ends up looking like that because of how they wrote the characters and directed it. And then the two actors are just like, neither of them is a genius of acting in romantic dramas, let's be honest. So it's kind of chicken rip to me, which is like, I can watch it, I can also not watch it. I'm just like going through the motion, and also just because I've already spent that much time, might as well just watch it till the end. Another thing about this drama that is you definitely should not put any hope in and you should ignore its existence is all the 权谋, all the court politics. Because I think it knows itself so well that it's an idol drama. It's not supposed to be actually serious about court politics. It literally is abbreviated in the most abbreviated version you can imagine. Okay, 3 days later, we're gonna meet and do this. Next shot is 3 days later, it's already done. Like, it's done like that. They totally just didn't bother. And I think they did it intentionally because they know audiences are in this drama to look at He Yu and Meng Ziyi. We don't need all that. We just needed to be told to the audiences, this has happened, therefore this happens. Okay, go ahead and watch the scenes we want you to watch and ignore all the connective tissues. It's not important. It happened so many times to the point where I'm like actually looking forward to how quickly they can do the next one. Oh, it's coming, it's that type of plot. Let's see how many shots is gonna like exist between the beginning and the resolution of it. And usually it's like within 3. I find it's kind of cute that the drama is so apologetic about that, but also ridiculous. So if you have any level of hope of like you can see an understandable level of cleverness in the story where the characters are actually set up to be master plotter, both the female lead and the male lead, you actually are not gonna get it. Okay, this is still at the end of the day an idol romantic drama. One last thing would be there are actually a couple of other actors you probably really like that will show up in this drama from other places, such as Zhang Yao, who plays a very supporting role, a doctor. He will so remind you of Zuo Qingci in that drama. English title, 一寸相思, that I really liked and I think many of my longtime audiences have liked. A couple of other guys who are quite handsome and they're in the drama too and you're gonna enjoy their presence. There are a couple of other actresses who are also very lovely from other dramas that you're gonna enjoy if you've watched a lot of Chinese period dramas. So a lot of 老熟人, the old familiar faces of Chinese idol dramaland are all like scattered in this drama. And visually this drama overall is like okay. I don't think it's like that well shot and designed like for example Pursuit of Jade where there's a lot of intentional design of the sets and stuff. This is still more averagely kind of the stuff you get in Hengdian that's like in every period dramas, but it's not ugly. So that's my conclusion and my opinion on the drama by Huasha Blossoms of Power. For both cases between us and this one, they are the type of drama, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you watch it, you probably wouldn't feel you're completely wasting your time. If you don't watch, you really wouldn't miss anything that's like great either. They're existing in that chicken rib zone. Hope that's useful for you to decide whether you should invest your time into watching these two dramas. Thank you for watching Avenue X. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.